Hey, how's it going? All right, so today will be a fun one. Today we are continuing to work on our magic system here. So far we have gotten to the point where we can navigate to an element. When we select an element, it takes us to this priority screen. And the idea is that you scroll down, and depending on how long you wait to cast the spell, depends on how powerful it is. As long as you've learned the spell, it's gonna be the first part of the implementation here. So for example, if I cast Fire 2, I can come out here and I can cast it. Right now, I just do this. That's gonna be what we're working on today is after you select a spell, and then I do need to make sure the priority list can scroll. I don't have that implemented. After you select a spell, and select a location, essentially it needs to be added to the priority queue and not cast immediately. And your character needs to go into a charge mode where they shouldn't be able to move. So that is the current plan. And then it should show up on this priority list permanently. With that, let's get to it. I think what I'm gonna do there, trying to think through this. I think I spawn an object that is the spell at the location or on my character. I've been thinking about how to do this and trying to think through it. I think that's the best way. That has its own timer essentially. I think the hard part is I need to make sure the way that it's calculated on the priority list when you select like the spell you're going to cast is it calculates a cast speed based on the player speed and their magic affinity. And then depending on that cast speed, it divides up by the charge time. I may have to simplify that. I wanted there to be some sort of kind of variation, whether you're like good at magic or bad at magic, and then how fast you are, because I didn't want like super powerful spells being locked out by time later on. So what I might do is just make this a little simpler and just add it instead of like just speed plus magic charge time or something. But we'll get that. We'll figure that out. For now, I want to implement the magic portion here. All right, so I'm gonna think about that for a second. I will be right back. Apologize, I gotta jump off here 1 second. So, but I'll be right back here. Hey, sorry about that. My son's a little bit sick. He's coughing. So I went and brought him some Tylenol. Trying to help him feel a little better. But yeah, no, day's been pretty good. Not too bad. It's a Friday. Glad to hear it. How about yours? All right. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I need to translate this into a spot on the priority list. Right now, the way the priority list is determined is, let's see, there's this priority list array. Oh, very nice. That's always good news. Are you in a food service? I may have to jump out a couple times, by the way. I want to make sure he's doing all right. Oh yeah, I completely understand. I worked a couple different retail and food service jobs in high school. Absolutely understand. I'm gonna go check on him. Sorry, I may have maybe either a short stream or have to jump out quite a bit today. So I apologize. I'm gonna go make sure he's all right though. Again, apologize. I'll throw the game on when I do so you can watch some pretty clouds. Very cool. Dishwasher, I did for Red Lobster for a while and it was enjoyable. Wasn't too bad. I'll be right back.
Poor guy.
But yeah, I used to work as a dishwasher, and I did baking, and that was line cook for a little bit at Red Lobster. And then when I worked at Sonic when I was 15 as a car hop, and then went and did Red Lobster for a little while, baking, dishwashing, then a line cook for a little while. And then when I turned 18, I started working at, I guess when I turned 17, I think, I started working at American Eagle doing retail. That was its own very unique experience. I had an old manager from Red Lobster come into American Eagle one time and said, hey, the day you turn 18, you can come work for me and be a server at Chili's. So I did. Once I turned 18, I went and was a server at Chili's. And then in college, I became a college recruiter. I worked at Chili's for like 3 years. In my senior year, I guess my junior year, I was a college recruiter. And then my senior year, I got an internship that summer at Boeing, and then worked my senior year at Boeing. And everything got a lot better after that. So I've had quite the career journey. But dishwashing, honestly, like dishwashing, cook, restaurant, sometimes I miss it. Every once in a while I'll think, man, kind of miss it. Obviously, I wouldn't want to go back. It's not really comparable to rocket science, but but it was still fun. All right, let's see. So this is going to be interesting. Let's see. All I have to do, I think, possibly is add it to priority list. I just have to remove it from it when I'm done. Okay. Not quite that. All right, yes. Not a big fan. Totally understand. I think more than anything, it's nostalgia, right? Like when I was in it and I was doing it every day, I hated it. You know, I went home smelling like fish. Yeah, after straight from school to work is a nightmare. It's like you have 2 full-time jobs. That's pretty awful. But like looking back, you know, I think it's just nostalgia. So, yep, completely understand. I think what I want to do is create an object. Youth apprenticeship for job. I think that's a great idea. Honestly, though, one of the things I regret the most is like not going and getting an internship earlier. I got one. I guess I got my only internship between junior and senior year, and I'm a first generation college student, so like talking to my dad and stuff, it would be like, yeah, you don't want to work for free, don't be an intern, that kind of thing. And then you kind of learn later on that most internships pay, and probably a lot better than being a server in terms of pay. So like I started at Boeing at like as an intern, the equivalent of like $54,000 a year or something, which is a lot better than serving, obviously. But I think there was just some kind of stigma around it, there's a different, like, my dad's time was like a different time, and so he probably hears intern and thought, no pay, that sort of thing, and it's just different. But yeah, I think that's my biggest regret. I think is not that I have a lot of regrets. Very happy with where I'm at, but I wish I could have got like a internship or apprenticeship or something related to engineering, like between my freshman and sophomore year. Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. I think that's pretty high on the average salary, and being in college still making pretty decent money is pretty huge. So strongly encourage you to apply for internships as soon as possible. We've hired interns we've hired interns at Boeing between like freshman and sophomore year, and then they come back as interns every summer. And then we've kept people on, like we've had juniors and seniors, myself included, right, just stay on throughout the school year. And it's huge. It helps us out because we can continue to get their help. The one thing, like the only stipulation some managers have at Boeing was like the interns can't get laptops that they take home. I had that stipulation. So if I was working, I had to actually go into the office. And I get it, because you don't want them like between class trying to like log 15 minutes, right? Because we got paid hourly as interns. But even so, it was nice because I could do that 1 year intern before senior. I would recommend finish school as quickly as possible. I don't think the year of experience, it's looking at resumes, right? I've done a lot of hiring. If I saw you took 5 years to graduate but had a year of experience, I would probably not that I would like discount you for taking 5 years to graduate. Like I've never, I don't even think I really see that, right? You just see what the year you graduated. But you could start your career off earlier. I don't think the year of experience is going to get you much, except if you can work concurrently, like during your senior year, right? It's like if you can find somewhere that'll let you stay on part-time, which like Boeing will, probably most, as long as you have a college near company like that, right? You can make progress and be working part-time. That's what I would recommend. I'm about to have to go check on him again. Again, I apologize here. It's going to be one of those kind of days, but enjoying the conversation though. I'll be right back. I'm back. Appreciate it. So yeah, I would say definitely prioritize finishing school. I think over like pausing for a year to do a co-op or internship. Just because like kicking your career, you're going to be an intern until you graduate, right? You're not gonna, as long as you don't have a degree, you'd be an intern. Kicking that off and being like a P1 or P2 engineer sooner is, in my opinion, the better like step forward. Most people will have like internship experiences. Actually, a lot of people now have where they're working concurrently, like co-op, you might call it, right? You're working concurrently as you're learning. And I think all of that looks good on a resume. The gap, your experience is fine, but like tech companies at the moment, like in 2024, tech companies, a lot of them are hurting for engineers. Engineers, like it's an engineer's market, I think here. So I think prioritizing getting your degree sooner is probably the way to go. Now, if you can swing it, I think the way I did it was I had just a few hours left my senior year, which was nice. So I could work like 30 hours a week. My senior year, still have time to do my couple hours of schoolwork, still have time to hang out, get plenty of sleep. And then I was involved in a lot of organizations in college, which I highly recommend. One, they're a lot of fun. Two, they look great on a resume. Three, you build great networks. I know a lot of people who are at a lot of companies, and a big part's just not I wasn't in a fraternity or anything, but I was in a lot of like student organizations like Engineers Club and stuff. Sounds kind of lame, but honestly makes a huge difference. Would highly recommend it. Okay, so I just need to add it to priority list. I need to create a node, I think. I think that's probably the way to go. I gotcha. That's cool. I wasn't sure where you're at in your high school career. I couldn't remember if you were a junior or senior. What? So you have a huge leg up. So that's a positive. Already thinking about it is giant. That's awesome. So really cool. All right. Ultimately, I just need to add, so let's see, what kind of node do I want to add? Do I want to add like a node to represent magic? It is nice having nodes. I think that's, or do I just want to add an like thing? Basically, very nice. Okay, cool. Well, best of luck, and hopefully that goes quickly for you. You involved in like any robotics clubs or anything in school? I'm not sure if that's what you're into, but I look back pretty fondly on those times as well. Okay, I need to add, so I think I'm just gonna make a standard node here. That's gonna go into this group. And that'll work. So I need to dynamically create a node. Let's go to my node documentation to remember how to do that. Search up. All right. Let's see. We'll need to add it to group. Search new. Or create. Hardest math class build for grade. Oh, very nice. Yeah, I went to a pretty small school. I took trig, but that's the highest math I took. I wish I would have taken some kind of calculus. I never even took like chemistry or physics, right? I took like physical science, but I took like health and health too, which was crazy thinking back, right? So that's great. I think that sets you up pretty large. I got into college because I was salutatorian in high school. Got into college and I was thinking like, oh, this would be fine. You know, I got all A's. Didn't really have to try too hard in high school, and then get to my first chemistry class, and I'm like, this is insane. I cannot picture this. And it was a challenge. And I wish I would have taken some more advanced sciences in high school. But, you know, you move on. Very good. Nice. Physics would be cool. I really liked physics. So took my first actually physics class in college. Loved it. I really wish I would have taken physics in high school. It would have helped me out. AP classes, I was paying for college, right? So anything you can do to cover classes, I was thinking, oh, I'll take care of that later. I'll do it in college. I wish I would have taken every AP class, paid for that. I don't see anything like create, which is interesting. Let's see what that's about. It's like OChem or something. Yeah, I did not like chemistry. I actually was going to start chemical engineering. Right. Again, I didn't have I took robotics in high school. Well, was in a robotics club that me and my brother kind of started in high school. Yeah, it was not. it was pretty good. But yeah, so not having taken chemistry, took my first chemistry class in college thinking I was going to do chemical engineering, and decided I was not going to do chemical engineering. It's just so abstract. Physics, I can point to something, I can see it, right? I can do something. Very, very different. So, okay. So I think what I can do is instance like a spell. So I can create, I probably need a class type for this. Let's go to my file system over here. Yep, understand. I'm guessing probably a pretty small school, and I get it. There's a first robotics competition, FRC, if you haven't ever heard of it, is a robotics competition. That's a high school robotics competition. You might check if there are. I'm not saying you need to do it, but it was huge for me. It was a ton of fun. You might check if there are teams around you. I was surprised. I moved to Texas for a few years after college to work, and there was a first robotics team down the road from me, so I went and volunteered at them. They do some pretty cool things. I mean, these are giant. These are big, pretty large robots. The size of, some of them are the size of small, forklift type things, right? So that's what we did. Some of them are tiny, but most of them are like a couple foot by a couple foot. And they're cool. And the teams, like you'll learn LabVIEW, which is huge in the industry. You'll learn some programming. That's a lot of them probably do some stuff in Python. You'll learn mechanics, right? All about servos and actuators. You can do pneumatics. A lot of good things you can do there. And honestly, pretty cool. I guess I can make it a magic. So this is magic definition. I could make it a magic spell class. Well, the only thing is I would create. It's gonna be of a magic spell type. I think I'm gonna say. Oh, 1 second. One. Yeah. Okay. You want me to take a minute? Yeah. Oh, really? I know, yeah. Yeah, that'd be good. I can take him in tomorrow, though. Yeah. Okay, did you tell him? There's not going to be shots tomorrow. Is he back asleep?
He's laying down now, so I think he's having a whole bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, he looks sleepy when I. Oh, yeah. He's like burping, hiccuping, yeah. Thank you, Philip. We can take turns if you want. Like, as long as you're cool with that. Otherwise, I can get him. I know you have like all day. Okay. Yeah, for sure. We'll take turns. I'll get him next time then. Sounds good. Alright, love you too. All right. But yeah, first year box competition is pretty cool. Looks like the game this year is called Reefscape. You might check it out if you're interested. There might be a team in your area. Again, I'm not like trying to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to get you some information you might not have if you're from a small school. And we started an FRC team. The nice thing, like Boeing sponsors, we got a sponsor from Raytheon. It was pretty much me and my brother. We found a teacher that would support us. And then we built a small team because other people were interested. We were surprised, you know, the level of interest. And it was fun. It was cool. And you just apply there. Hey, Kodo, how's it going? What's your obscure question? I'm gonna make a new script. And we're gonna call it Cast Magic. Actually, yeah, extends node because it needs to be a node. Last name. A .bbb file. That's probably a good question for my friend ChatGPT here. Let's see. I've never heard of a .bbb file. A BlackBerry. Oh, interesting. BlackBerry backup. Ah, okay. So you need BlackBerry desktop software on your screen. There's a lot of third-party backup extractors, so you should search that. And it's not related to phones. Okay. I don't know. That's what all I can see here. Let me try again. What is an old game toy? I don't know. You know what? Everything I'm finding about .bbs is related to Blackberries. It's possible though that like an old game toy would use an old, like a BlackBerry OS or something. So I don't know. But best of luck. Yeah, I hadn't heard of that. Hopefully you can figure that out. Good old Google. Yeah, Google is probably the way to go there. I did ask ChatGPT and it was right. according to Google, but obviously if it's different, let me ask it real quick. Are there other types of .bbb files? What's it got for me? The most common type, nope. Let's see what else we got. Here are a few other possibles. BitPim phone book, BullGuard backup, Big Blue button recording, and Backup Buddy. My guess is that it's a proprietary file type on that old toy, right? That they probably just saved it as a .bbb. You could try opening it like in a text editor or something, and just like see what it is, right? Try opening it like a text editor, see what happens. Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar with a lot of those. I'm guessing that has to do, let's see. Oh, a sound file. So sound file. What is a V2Z? A V2Z file is, I don't know what a V2Z file is. Yeah, you might try opening with a text file. See what you get. Notepad or Notepad++. If it's all a bunch of like random binary data, then yeah, I probably can't help you too much. You might have to like unpack it. But you know, hopefully you can figure that out though. It sounds like you're trying to do some sort of like crashes Notepad. That's interesting. You might try Notepad++, and Notepad++, you might be able to change like your processing type. Have you heard of Notepad++? If you haven't heard of it, download it. It's free. And you might be able to change like your processing type of how you're processing the data, and try some things. I've never heard. So I haven't heard of any of these file types. ChatGPT has never heard of the V2Z file types. You might check. It says like check properties, right? You might be able to see files associated with. I don't think you will. I'm guessing these are all pretty custom files, right? To try to protect their data, if they are indeed from like a game. So you might try an emulator. You know, maybe you could at least open it with some sort of emulator. You might try a BlackBerry emulator. You know, a BlackBerry emulator might get you there. If you can open it with that, you know, maybe it'll help you. Gonna create a couple variables. So one is gonna be spell or magic cast. One's gonna be charge time. One's gonna be current charge. What's expecting variable name? It does not like this. Can I use simple export without type? Okay. I guess I don't really need to export it because I'm not actually going to create physical nodes that I'll modify. So that's fine. Current charge. I think that's really all I need because the magic cast would have all of this data, right? So it'd have all this data, which actually has charge time. So I don't even really need charge time. I just need magic cast and current charge, I think. Maybe target cell, because that would tell me which cell it's targeting, which is probably important. And I think that is it. Actually, let's name this priority, because that's what the character is going to use too. So then they're using the same variable, and as I'm modifying that and adding to it, I can do that. So then this probably has to be speed. Priority variable speed, and I'll set the speed equal to something based on my speed. I think that's good. So let me check real quick. My priority list. Okay, so calculate priority here. Character.priority, character.speed. That's all I need. So then all I have to do is add it to the priority list. Okay. Here's the thing. The only problem, which I could fix, is I have this is less than or equal to 100. What I think I need to do is set. Okay, this is pretty easy to fix though. I think I would just set a constant here. Maybe constant max priority equals 100. Let me search for other instances of 100. Okay, just that one. And then what I would do is back in priority list, I can do character.max priority. And then I don't have to worry about that. And that'll add it to the ready list already, which is great. Identifier, oh, character.max priority. Okay, then in my system over here, I can create a new variable that is max priority. Okay, so then I can set this. All right, let's go back to priority list. So then when I finish this, okay, I can emit cast magic, which is good. I can create a new node. So I can say node.new. Is that how to do it? I guess I could create a variable here. Just do this. Variable node. We'll say magic. Magic node equals cast magic dot. Is cast magic is my variable. What's my class type here? I think it. Ooh, let me check. I lost it. Okay. It's gonna be Otis cast magic. It's just camel caps. All right, let's check this out. Equals cast magic dot new. I should create a new cast magic node, and I can say magic node dot set name, and we can call it magic. I kind of want to, I guess, let me think. I need this name to be the spell. Oh, so I could do character. So I could do my active player. Is that a thing here? I think so. I guess it's Ready Player Zero always, right? The only time I'd ever do this is... So Ready Player Zero is the current player that's active. Let's do a string in there. Ready Player Zero, comma, this, comma, and then we would say cast magic. And I think I want to do dot magic name. I think that does it. That's going to create my new node, set the name. And then what I can do is, I guess I could keep it in the priority list. I could add a child here, add child magic node, and then I can, oh, it doesn't like that. Expecting, oh, okay, I'm missing a parenthesis there. Then what I can do here is say, oh, it still doesn't like this. Cast magic not declared. Do I have an error on this screen? Oh, let me save this, I guess. There we go. It didn't like not being saved. So now this should disappear. Perfect. Okay. So then, let's see. What I should do now is add this to priority list. So I could say priority list.append magic node, and then I need to set the magic node value. So let me go ahead and pull up. Let me create a resource based on this real quick, just so I can see the. Oh, I can't see the values because they're not exported. Maybe I should export them, just so I can see them. export variable magic cast node. Okay, export variable priority integer. Export variable speed. I guess I can make this a float. Float. Export variable target cell vector 3i, and export variable max priority is going to be a float. Okay, that should at least let me see the values. Or not. I guess because it wants a node, it should only expose the values if there's a node. That's a little bit annoying. I could create a resource just for reference. Let's do that. I'm gonna create, this is gonna be cast magic. Oh, it's not a resource class type. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use my snipping tool and take a screenshot of this. So the exports were all for nothing. That's okay. All right, here. Then what I would do next is look at my screenshot and start adding stuff here. So I can say, here I can say magic node dot magic cast equals cast magic. Magic node dot priority equals 0. Magic node dot speed equals cast speed. Magic node dot target cell equals, do I have a target? I don't know the target yet, so I'll have to define that. Oh, okay. This might not be the right place for this. This might be a better place. So, hey, Be Wise, doing a little bit of both. You know, taking breaks, making some progress. But it's going pretty well. How are you doing? Let's see. I think this may be the better place then. So after I select my magic, I should put it here. Okay, so then essentially after I select a spell, this will need to grab its name. That's gonna go there. No school, so you're chilling. Very nice. 'Cause it's Friday, right? It's the weekend. Chilling is good. Same here. Don't work tomorrow. But yeah, I'm glad. Always good to have a good weekend off. My son's a little bit sick, so it's been quite the evening so far. But other than that, things are going well. You about done for the year? Should be pretty close. It's like the beginning of May. I know someone was on earlier, or BWAG was on earlier talking 20 days left. That really seems late. I feel like, so I'm in Oklahoma, right? And I feel like my school always let out like now. 20 days seems like a long time for a school year left. A couple weeks. That makes sense. For some reason, I feel like it was always like the very beginning of May. Like when April rolled around, you were finishing things up. So, well, good deal. Hopefully soon, that's closing up. All right, I can just grab this. 24th is the last day. Okay. I guess that's about right. You know, that's just a week off from what I had in my mind. So it's not too bad. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I think that'll add it to the priority list at least. Let's test that. This should let us see if we're gonna add it to the priority list. Nah, I'm not distracted at all. I can multitask. Okay, so let's see. So this here, I would select fire. Okay, it should be in the priority list now, actually. And it's there. Okay. Now it should be in the priority list. It should pop up, but that's not exactly right. Oh, let me wait because I don't think I'm recalculating the priority list. Okay, cool. So I have a couple issues. So it is casting it, right? My balance is way off, so I need to adjust cast speed to max. I'm not setting max cast speed, so I wonder what it's using for that. Actually, I think we can check, which is nice. Let's see. So down there, 3.08, which is interesting. Let's see. Yeah, it's way off. Okay, that's all right. So let's do some adjustments real quick to see if we can get that a little better. And then obviously I don't want, okay, and I guess I can see them here. Here's the priorities. Okay, so I want the speed to represent, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and print some of these values. Print magic node dot, let's see. Magic node dot speed. We'll see what that looks like. Let me print magic node dot magic cast. Actually, I need to make this magic dot. Okay, that does need to be magic, I guess, but I need interesting. Okay. The name magic name is correct. Okay, ready player 0 dot name is what this needs to change because it did grab the name, right? The name of fire looks good. But yeah, I need this to be not name. For now, to make this super simple, all I'm gonna do is make the speed my character's speed. Ready player 0 dot speed, just because I want to keep it super simple. So that means basically on the next time they have their turn, well, I guess somewhere in that between their turn, they should go again. But that should help it be a little bit more debuggable. And then I need to, at the end of this, I guess, I think I need to refresh the list, maybe? No, I think I can keep it where it's at because it's still in the right place. So it doesn't really need to happen until after I finish this. So after I finish confirming magic, it should refresh the priority list here. So let's check. So magic, fire, confirm. They won't do that. Okay, so then we can wait. Okay, so now you can see they pop up here in their casting. You can see it multiple times. I need to, if something's a spell, not include it in the subsequent priority calculations. That should be pretty easy to do. And then the balance is still way off. I mean, you can't wait for a whole turn, right? But it's just because my speed is low compared to my charge time. Am I even setting max priority? What am I setting max priority to? I'm not. Okay, so yes, so I need to set max priority. I wonder what it's using there. That's kind of interesting. Magic node dot max priority equals, and I'm not using target cell either, but that won't come. That's not going to come until I select. So this might still be in the wrong spot. I probably need to go ahead and move it to, I need a signal coming from my confirm. So after I confirm a spell, I need it to come back and actually initiate all this to add it. And I'll do that. That should be pretty easy. Okay, so max priority needs to equal magic dot charge time. I think that's the correct thing here. Right there. And that should help with that. Let's confirm. I don't want to do too much without testing it, but I think that will be pretty easy. So I think then I'll just create a new signal coming off of confirm. Let's check. To fire. Okay, wait. Now it should be on there. Oh, it's still on there right there. I might be actually populating it twice now. Let's just search max priority. There comes up 3 times. Oh, this character. Okay. Interesting. I don't know how it knew to make the charge time. Let's print magic node dot charge time, and then I'm gonna go into this. Let's go ahead and get rid of cast speed because I have that down there. There are other prints. The priority array is the big one. Okay, I think that should work. See if that. Okay. Magic fire. Oh, I broke it. Okay, so that time charge time didn't work. Okay. Interesting. Okay, it's probably my print. My print is probably. I think that's pretty easy. I think I'm just looking at the wrong node because it's in this last print node. So it's not magic node dot charge time. It is magic node dot charge time. No, it's not. It's magic dot charge time. Or I can actually do magic node dot max priority just to clean it up. So magic node dot max priority there. It's a little bit better. Let's see. All right. So magic fire. We'll go pick one here. I need to turn off that animation. Okay, so then we look. Okay, let's look at the print values. I need to. Oh, let me turn those off because that's gonna be impossible to find anything. Essentially, what you see down there is what all this navigation is doing to calculate where people's paths go. And so I need to get rid of that, printing that grid. I guess I can just turn it off. Maybe I want it later. But that's hard to see things through. And I don't want no path found either. I don't really need debugging on this at the moment. I think I've got that part of it down at least. Magic, we're still working on, but navigation and enemy navigation, enemy AI, I think we've got a good solution for. Okay. So fire. Let's see, wait. Okay, now let's look. Okay, so what are my values here? 7, null, and 20. Okay, so 20 is correct. This null here. Let's see what's going on there. Go down the priority list. So that's the magic cast. Magic node dot magic cast. Is that even looking for the right thing? I guess it is. It should be the node that I just created. Interesting. Okay, so I am creating a node. It has values. That's really all I care about. Oh, I'm not assigning. But I am trying to assign it here. So magic cast equals magic. Magic should be a node, unless it's not, unless it's a spell name. Let's go look back at that. It's in magic select. Let's see what I'm actually passing. Let's see. Magic selected, current magic selected, which is what? Current magic selected equals magic list. Oh, that's passing a whole magic list, isn't it? So it's not a node, it's an array. Is that right? I don't think so. I guess it could be from here. Current magic select. Oh, that's current magic list. Okay, and that's current magic selected equals magic selected. So, yeah, and that would be a node. So if I go back, I'm fairly confident. Back to priority list. We're going back and forth here, and we can look at this. So I am emitting cast magic, which cast magic is a node. So it's a single magic node. I'm really surprised then that this node is null. I am setting it, and I'm setting it to this value. That means I'm passing a null value back here. Let's go ahead and print magic here. That's really interesting. Oh, wow. Let's check. And I'm going to add some identifiers here so I can sort on it. Magic. All right. We'll say magic speed. Magic cast. I guess magic node. And magic priority. I am really surprised that I might have some other hard-coded hundreds in there. I'm gonna have to check. Kind of feel like I have some hard-coded hundreds in there, but we can fix that. All right, so let's see. So I'm gonna do magic, fire. Okay, what we got? We got magic is populated. Magic node is still null. Okay, it's because it's a resource, not a node. Okay, that makes sense. So I have the wrong file type within my cast magic here. This needs to be a resource. And actually, I could even make it more explicit, and I can call it a magic spell. So if I call that a magic spell, I think that should allow me to transfer that value into that magic node now. Let's find out. Let's see. Magic here, fire. Okay. Yes. So now the resource is passed into the magic node, which helps a lot. Maybe. I don't know if it actually helps a lot. I don't know if it does much. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. Am I using that? I will. I will when I get this. So essentially the next steps are I will take this. First, I need to clear where it only shows up once here. I'm very surprised because the player's speed is 7 and max priority is 20. So I'm still calculating this list wrong after the fact. Actually, I might not be. Interesting. I might not actually be casting it wrong because, like, if I go to this priority list, I think it's where I set it. But I do have 2 different values for cast time, so I do need, I think, to do this like that. So cast speed, yeah. And I'm not exactly sure if this is going to be the right way to do this. Probably not. How am I calculating priority number? Okay. Nope. This is very bad. I'm essentially, for a priority number, I'm essentially just grabbing a random. No, I am grabbing that is the priority. Okay, so I grab the number of the priority list and then I grab the current priority from that number. So if I do speed, that should work. And then so if priority number is greater than charge time divided by cast speed, let's try that. Here's what I expect to happen. I expect for me to put it in the right place. It should show up earlier on the priority list when I do this. But I don't expect it to show up in the right spot when I wait. Like, that looks pretty good. So this should be on number 3. Okay. Yeah, and it's 6. And it's like that because I do need 1.21 gigawatts. I think you're right. That's exactly what I need. So, yeah, I don't think I'm calculating. It's calculating on Alara's turn again, which is good. Which is what I would expect if it's looking for 100 in the value. So let's just do a search for, okay, yeah, right here. So I need this while is less than character dot max priority. And then that, I do still need that one to be 100. I think that does it. So that should put it in the right spot. Now keep talking. Honestly, I enjoy it. The only reason I'm streaming is to interact with people, talk to people. It's fun, right? I mean, coding can be boring, so I appreciate you hanging out. Hopefully it's not too boring. But no, it's good reference. Good reference. All right, let's see. So then let's wait. Yes, okay, so let's try it again because I did not take a note of where it was, but I think that falls in the right spot now, which is very good. I think I'm going to make this equation a little more complicated because I want to take into account like how good the person is at magic. Okay, so it should be right after Arya. Note, it's right after Arya is where I'm casting the spell. So then I'll wait, and if I look, it's right after Arya that the spell gets cast. So that's perfect. Look, even with the distractions, we're making progress. So that's good. Hey, I appreciate it. I wouldn't be streaming if people weren't here to watch me, right? It's like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, did the tree actually fall? If I was streaming and no one was on to chat, would I be streaming? It's one of life's great mysteries, and we may never know the answer. All we can do is speculate. Let's see. So that looks pretty good, actually. The only thing is I need to know if it's a spell, then I need it to essentially I need it to not do this check when k is greater than 0. So I need to split this in two. I need to say if k is greater than, or if k equals 0, do this every time. Else, I would say if character dot, what should I do? Class name? I don't know if that'll work. Character dot class name equals cast magic. I don't know if that'll work. Maybe. I guess I can put it does not equal class magic. Cast magic. Then do this again. Then if it's cast magic, it should ignore it. So now what should happen? What should happen is I go cast the spell. I select where I want it in the priority list. I go to my next character. Oh, it's already broken. Yeah, I kind of assumed class name wouldn't be right. There's probably a function to get cast name on any kind of node. So let's check that real quick. So if I go to node here and I search class name. Depends what you're trying to do. I am trying to do an RPG. So because I'm trying to do an RPG, it's challenging, right? It's complicated because I'm making it complicated, but I'm making it complicated because that's what makes an RPG fun. You could get like a simple game going, either 2D or 3D, without all this code, right? It just depends on what you're doing. If you're doing like a platformer, then like it can be as complicated as you want it. If you want to just have the 4 directions and you jump around on a stage and you just have to set collision physics, you might require almost no code. I require a lot of code because it's a tactical RPG, so I've got to design a navigation system. I've got to design a magic system, right? So right now I'm working on the magic system, and this is going to be one of the key components of my game, and therefore it's just kind of complicated. So, yeah. Script property is part of the object class. It is interesting. Maybe object class. There's got to be a method in here to determine like, hey, what is the class? Get class. Perfect. Look at that. Okay, so then what I would do is I'd go to the priority list here, and I'd go back up to here, and in my calculation, here, not class name, but get class is not equal to cast magic. So essentially what I'm saying is, hey, if this isn't a spell that I'm trying to cast, go do more iterations. Otherwise, just do one iteration of this. I think that's going to work. I have 75% confidence that's going to work. Okay, well. Okay, so what's wrong here is that it doesn't like it because I'm comparing a string and an object type. Not a huge problem to deal with. I think I would do .getClass.name. Maybe there's a get class name. Let me go back to objects down here. Object. Is there anything else for class? Let's go down to this. Returns. Okay, returns it as a string. See, also is class. Okay. Returns true if the object inherit from the given class. Okay. That's much better. So I can use that, and I can say instead if character dot is class cast magic, and it's a string, so I need to put it in quotes. That should work, and it probably would have worked if I would have put cast magic in string. Cast magic is a class type. That's why I was actually comparing a string from this side with an object. So okay, still doesn't like it. Let's see what my debugger has to say. No errors, which is interesting. Oh, well, I mean, it's broken, obviously. What does it not like here? That's interesting. Did I close it last time? I might try one more time because I might have just hung something up. Because I did not actually see any errors that should have stopped this from working. Those like pretty known errors. Okay, so here's the output. Okay, but yeah, it's not even processing. It's not getting past the ready scene. So nothing's processing. Did I really break it with that small of a change? Let's see. And I'm not getting errors. Okay. That's really hard to navigate, but I think I can probably, let's see how far it got. Do I even have, okay, so it did populate, it got into active enemy, which is an interesting place for it to be. So it's not processing priority correctly is the big thing, which is, you know, what I'm modifying. So let's go ahead and do this for now. This should put it back to how it was. Obviously, this is a problem. I'm not sure why that's a problem, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so now it's working again. So yeah, that line of code is crashing it, and I got to think about why. Okay, so if character.is class cast magic, and I will only ever run this with a character. So that shouldn't be a problem. Interesting. Let's try this. Let's just for testing purposes. What if I put if character.name equals, and we say aria. This should work. How to make your snake more than 1 square long. I gotcha. You see, that could be challenging, even though it's snake, because you've got to there's like a chain, right? And it has to remember which node it's on. That breaks it. Okay. So it doesn't like anything to do with character. And there's no debugger message. So I get it. Yeah. Ultimately, what you essentially need is like a shift register, right? So like on the shift register side, if you're thinking in like terms of components, right? If you put it in terms of, hey, what would an electrical component be? I don't know if you're familiar with electrical components. Shift register does is it takes a value and it consumes that value and passes the value that's in it on one end to the next node of the shift register, I guess if you want to call it that. So I think what you would have to do is be tracking that one square. Once you get that one square moving around how you want it, have it when you pick up a fruit, whatever it is, right? You need to spawn a new item in your shift register, or you could probably use an array, and you'd want essentially an array of positions. And so you have like an 8x8 grid or whatever it is, 10x10 grid for your snake. And then within that array, you'd create a new value in your array that always gets the value from the square above it every time, right? So you've got this, you're tracking the grid position around in an array. It's an array of size 1. And then you pick up a fruit, you spawn a new value in your array, similar to what we're doing here. An array of size, now you have an array of size 2, and your value from 1 always goes to 2 and then falls off. And your value of your array in your first zone is always your new position. And then you just have to spawn that square on those positions. To me, that's, if I was coding it, that's probably what I would do. And if I had to guess, I bet that if you look at like the original Snake, it's something similar to that. That one should be doing a wool in Python. That should be a good, that'd be a good Python tester code. I could see it being challenging though, because you got to think about arrays and structures, and then you've got to essentially in your grid. So I'd start like making a grid, right? Essentially turn on and off dots. You only need 2 colors, which is nice. 3 if you have a different color fruit. So that's not too bad, but in terms of colors, but it could get complicated. But good luck, and hopefully that helps. If you have questions or anything, feel free to ask them. I'm kind of thinking, well, no, because I am grabbing other character values. I could do if character dot max priority is less than 100, like that. It must be getting stuck in the while loop. If let me think real quick. When am I integrating K here? Okay, so here's what I woed about. I thought maybe I was getting stuck in this while loop because like my if statements were not resolving. And they actually, I probably am. Let me think. Okay, so while, yeah, I'll never iterate. So I actually need this to be outside of the while loop. So I can say if K equals 0, while that, do that. And then else, actually, let's go back here. I'm gonna go back to this. Let's see. Test prior if character at max priority. I can put this back to, because I think that I'm almost positive that's going on. Is class cast spell, and I'll put if not. It's actually probably cast magic. Okay, I got a good feeling about this now. So I'll have 2 while loops. One, if K is 0, and I go into that one. So if it's not cast magic, and let's do this one at a time. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here. Basically, first I'm going to say if K equals 0. I always want to do this. K equals 0. I plus 1. Okay. Simple enough. Okay. Next one, I want to say else, right? So if k is anything else, if k is greater than 0, I only want to go into the while loop if this. And I can actually probably do an else elif. So it's not 0. If I'm not in cast magic, do another while loop. Man, while loops are so dangerous. Why am I doing while loops here? Maybe I should reprogram this to not do a while loop. And then else, what I'll say is just pass. And I think that's fine. I may end up using that. Okay. I feel a lot better about that. Really got to watch for while loops. Okay, cool. Well, at least I didn't get stuck in a while loop. Okay. So fire. Okay, so I'm going to put it after aria here. And then wait. And now it should be after aria, or after aria, but it still shows up multiple times. So I didn't quite get there. Let me go ahead and print, do a print here. And I'll say like print character dot name. And I'll do like print past step. And I'll do K. And I'll do this. So basically what I'm trying to say is, hey, you did not run this cycle for them. And it should be for any spell. It should essentially skip it. Okay, so if character is not in class cast magic, let me check. Okay, cast magic is correct. Let's check this out. We'll see if this works. Okay. Should be after aria. Let's see what it says. Okay, so wait. So I should see things now. I did not, I don't think. Interesting. So it did not skip it. It processed it every time. So when I calculate future priority here, where am I doing that? Here. Calculate future priority, character, comma K. Okay. Interesting. So I might need it up there. Let me think here. It's still going to add it to the priority calc list. It's just not going to calculate a future priority. Or it does. Huh. I'm surprised here. Let's print this. And I'll say like consumed by step K. Essentially so I can watch that. I'm gonna turn off some more text because all this printing is making it a little difficult to see. So let me turn off. I think it's probably an active enemy. Yeah. I was doing a lot of troubleshooting on our AI and that made it hard. Okay. Undo those. That should be the main majority of it. Let's try that. And then the cool thing too there is if you do use like an array for your snake, your score then becomes, hey, what's the length of that array? Which is pretty nice. That becomes a really cheap function. Real easy to display score then. Again, very Pythonable. All right, so let's see. Let's review this. Yeah, so this is absolutely being consumed. What's interesting Okay. Oh, it's because it's the name, so that is correct. I'm guessing the class name is not quite what I'm thinking here. Let me go to object and just print class names. It's very possible I'm just getting the class name wrong. Class name. Class name. So get class. Returns the object's built-in class name. This method ignores class name declarations. So it's just the built-in class name, not the declared one? Oh, okay. So it's just returning node. Okay. Unless the property is type object and it inherits from a class. Get property list returns the object properties in an array. Okay, so I could do it like this, but easier. So I didn't read this note. This is why it's important to read notes. Easier is just to say, hey, if it's a node, right? Because my characters are not nodes. My characters are character body 3Ds. Okay. That's good to know. So what I could do here is this, and I'll say dash, and then character.get class. That won't be is cast magic. I'll just say is node, and that's kind of nice because then if I have other abilities and stuff that are different types, I can still add them to my priority list without having to add a bunch of stuff to that. So I actually kind of like that. Just being based node is probably a good thing. All right, let's see if that fixes it. Oh, look at that. I broke something. Yeah, reading, absolutely. I wish I could stop reading after school. I don't know what Dan is doing, but Dan is moving a lot. Obviously I broke something, but let's look at what's happening. The good news is that I only processed. Oh, I haven't even tried to process the spell yet. Past step. Okay, so Dan for some reason is the only one getting processed here, because everybody apparently is class node. Yeah, I hear you. That's interesting. Yeah, in all honesty, Godot's like documentation is pretty good, but yeah, I apparently feel the same way about reading. I don't like reading something down in a note. So it really ignores anything. It had to be Dan. Dirty Dan. Had to be Dan. I don't know why Dan was so eager to move, but okay, but it's passing that step. So again, that tells me that even if it's like a character body 3D, the base is node. You can see that over here, right? All the way down at the bottom is node. This is class feels completely worthless to me. I don't know what it's thinking. And you can see here, right? Like returns false if it's a node 3D. That's absolutely ridiculous. This wouldn't even work. I don't think this would return true based on this, right? Because you see node, like node sprite 2D would be part of a node. So I don't know if I agree with this. Okay, well, I guess I might have to do this. So let's see, get property list, and then I'll get the second property list. Let's give that a shot. Okay. Very interesting. I don't know what Dan was doing here. Okay, so let's see. Let's get property list instead of this. character dot get property list. That's an array list, and then we would say 1 equals cast magic. And then what I can do is I can print this just so we can see what it's returning. I think that's right though. I'm about back to my 75% confidence. We'll see what happens. But I think that's right. We'll find out. Confidence fluctuates. No, it's not. Okay, so I'm comparing a string and a dictionary. A dictionary in this. Dictionary is the first one that comes up. So character dot get property list 1. It thinks is a dictionary. Interesting, because it clearly told me that, oh, well, okay, so it's an array, and it's an array of variants, and the variant in that condition, for some reason, is a dictionary. Yeah, each dictionary contains the following entries. Returns the object property list as an array of dictionaries, okay? And then each dictionary. Interesting. Each dictionary contains the following entries. The property's name. Okay. That is not what I need. So what that is every property that contains, and then these are all the property flags. So that is not what I need. There's got to be a way just to get the class list, right? How does it ignore class name declarations? How do I get around that? I guess I could Google that. How do I get class name declarations from GD script? Get class, it says you should be using it, but you have to define the function yourself. Interesting. Okay, so get class is what you should be using. You must define the function yourself. I'm not sure what that means here. So it just returns class name. Okay. So I think what this is saying is that I have to put within my class, I have to put the function get class name within there. And I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, people complain about it. There's a lot of stuff online calling it a pain, and I agree. It seems like that's way too hard. It should be, pull the class. All right. If object is okay, that looks like a good solution. So what they have here, I could say if character is cast magic. So essentially just ignoring, not worrying about pulling the class name. I think that makes sense. This doesn't help me at this point anymore though. So I can get rid of that. But yeah, okay, and then if it's not cast magic, then move on. Okay, that makes sense. So then essentially we'll do a check for the name. That actually is a pretty easy solution. But people want the actual class name, and there's a lot of debate on if there's like an easy way to do it. So, okay, so essentially under ARIA, this should populate exactly once. Let's see here. Wait. Oh, I got the opposite of what I wanted to happen. But based on the output, so it just did it like 15 times, but I know what's going on. Okay, so here's what's happening. So it is doing it once, but essentially it's not calculating a new priority. So what happens is this is saying, hey, walk through and for, 6 cycles, go ahead and populate the calculus. What I actually need is to bring this code up here. So I would say, hey, for the character in priority list, if k is equals 0, do this, else, and then I can have my elif. Elif, character is not in cast magic, right? Then I could do the same thing. And actually, I do want to iterate I think, every time, no matter what. No, I don't. Don't want to iterate I no matter what. Only want to iterate I if I actually go through this. So if characters cast magic, I guess I could put an or here, right? Or character is not in cast magic. Let's see. So that would be true. This would be true all the time, or I guess all the time on k equals 0. This would be true sometimes if character is not in cast magic. I think that works well. And then I can simplify this. So we can get rid of all of that now. Oops, not all of that. So let's see, I can keep that print statement for a second here. All right. Little refactoring here, but I think we got it. Okay, so essentially on k equals 0, it's going to go through here. It's going to run it no matter what, add it to the list. And then for k equals 1, so k equals 1, this is false. But character is cast magic, or is not cast magic, so that's true, so it'll go in. I think that works. Let's give it a shot. Now my confidence is up to 85%. We're getting closer. Okay, we didn't crash. Oh, look at Dan getting consumed by step 5. What is up with Dan? What is Dan doing? I don't understand. I need to look into that. Obviously, something's going on with Dan. Dan's having problems. We need to check on Dan. Okay, anyway. Let's see. Aria here. No, BWAG, don't give up. You got this. It's hard, but you got this. It's not intuitive for a while. It takes time. Hey, look at that. Look. It's resolved. It shows up exactly once. It shows up the exact right spot. So now it's on the priority list, meaning I can go cast my fireball when I do there. So we solved it. But I hear you, BWAG. It probably is really hard. Post it in the Discord, the code you got. I'm willing to take a look. It's one thing I could do. Like, you could absolutely look up a tutorial and probably get there, but like I can look at it if you want. I can give you hints. Maybe that's an option. Square only goes 10 pixels off the border and not all the way to the wall. Interesting. So you're moving the square around. There's probably a offset of your axis somewhere. Take a break. It's worth it though. It's worth it to learn. It's absolutely gonna set you up for success in the future. Best of luck. I know it's very frustrating when you're running into problems though. So hopefully that you can solve that. All right, let's see here. Okay, so we have that now in the right spot, and it's added to the priority list, which is fantastic. Let me see what happens when it activates. I think it's gonna break. Slap that bad boy in Discord. Good deal. I'm gonna take a look at it right now. Let's see. I won't pull it up on stream so that we don't look at it live, because that's probably nerve-wracking. But I'll see if I see anything obvious real quick. Let me pull this down where we can look at the clouds. Well, look at this. Okay, let's see. Oh, anything obvious here? I keep in mind I don't know Pygame, the Pygame library. So you're 10 blocks off the wall, or 10 blocks off the border you set for it, and not all the way to the wall. I do feel like I'm looking a little bit out of foreign language. It's just 'cause I'm not used to Pygame. Okay, but I see your rectangle you're drawing. That's good. Let's see. It's probably nerve-wracking doing this live. I might, if you want, I can take this off stream as well. I do see one potential thing here. Add this line to access x and y from this function. So you're calling a function or a variable x and y, and then you're drawing. Okay, so you draw this with x and y, which you're setting above. But are you defining x and y before? Okay, good deal. Glad to hear it. Let's see. So walking through. First, it's going to initiate. All right. Do you care if I pull it up on stream so that we can all look at it together? And then let's see. So then for x, okay. So let's see. So you're defining a function called draw grid, which is good. You are defining your main function. And so while run, so within your run, you're going to draw the grid first. Cool. Let me share my screen here. Moment. We can all watch, and together we'll figure this out through the power of friendship or something. Let's see. Shrink that down. All right. Cool. All right, let's see what we got. I'm also going to do this real quick. Just shrinking the sides. So one moment. Not going to make it perfect, but gonna give it a little bit. All right. Cool. Let's see what we got. All right, so here's what I'm seeing. I am not, it's been a little while since I've done too much in Python. In Pygame, I am not familiar with even a little bit. I've never tried making a game in Python. Keep that in mind. But let's see. So first what you're doing is you are initiating this library. You're setting your width and your height to 500 by 500. You're setting an x value at 50, a y value at 425, which I think probably define your grid. And then what you're going to say is draw grid. This is a function that you're defining, and you are defining these kind of internal things, x and y, which are just variables, and you are going to go draw them. So I'm guessing these are kind of pixels. You are walking through them. So this starts at 0, right? So these are 4 statements where you essentially start at 0 and go all the way to the width. And you're defining a rectangle, which I don't know anything about this function, but you are iterating this. You're iterating it 500 times. So essentially you are drawing a line 500 times, starting at x equals 0 and ending at x equals 500, which might be okay. That might be what you want. Width, and then block size is 20. Okay, that probably is right. I'm guessing you're drawing 20 blocks. So that makes sense. You're drawing 20 blocks, X and Y. I'm guessing it fills in the whole thing. Yep. So that might make sense. Level design. Man, I haven't got to level design yet, but we could discuss it here in a moment. Okay. Oh, the square is also 20 by 20. Okay, I see. So you've got... Okay, these are pixels, I'm guessing then. Okay, so this is iterating 0 to 500, except it's doing it in steps of 20. That makes sense. Got it. Okay, so you're creating a bunch of grid squares. That makes sense. pygame.drawRect. I'm guessing this right here is saying you're drawing these. I'm guessing there's some kind of border, white background. The size is the rect, which is here, and 1. Okay, I get it. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up here. Global XY, which you already have an X and a Y defined, and you're making this a global variable. So does your grid draw okay when you go draw it? It might be okay, but you are defining this twice. Maybe it's okay. Okay, and then you say run equals true. So while run, this is just while true, so this always runs. So it gets to here, and then you get into a while loop. And you're gonna draw your grid. You draw your grid. So one note is you're drawing your grid every single time, right? Which again could be what you want. Okay, good deal. Then you're gonna wait 1/10 of a second. And then that's gonna be an event to quit the game, that's fine. Keys, get pressed key. If you press W, okay, so if you press W and Y is greater than velocity, then you're gonna decrease velocity by Y. Where is your velocity? Velocity's 10. Okay, so you're saying, let's think real quick. If your Y is greater than velocity, I'm trying to see where you're actually drawing your actual snake here. Because yeah, I see that, and you're changing your X and your Y. The and is to set the borders. So it can go off window. Okay. So it can't go off window. I think I hear you, so I'm just trying to think through this real quick. Do I have Python installed? I do. I wonder if I can just run it here. Let me just save this off to a Python file. We can play with this. Is that all right? Snake is pygame draw rect win green. Why didn't I see that? Oh, right here. Window. Okay, I see. So you call window right here. Okay, I see. And then when you draw it, it's gonna go. You might try, I don't know if this is the case, but I'm getting a feeling like if I was coding this, I would definitely use different variable names for like my block here. Like I call this I and Y instead of X, or I and J instead of X and Y. I'm not sure if it's correct, right? But to me, it seems like this X and this Y are competing with each other. Again, maybe not, but makegame.py. I'll see if this works. Not sure. One thing, like coding standard, you probably don't want to use the same variable name in most cases unless it's representing the same thing. In this case, they're representing two different things. This is representing the iteration, which iteration is typically what you use there. And then this is actually representing X and Y coordinates. So you might try doing that. Let me see if I can run Python here. And again, I haven't used Python, like I haven't opened Python in a little while. So I don't know if that's actually the case. Let me see. I don't know where I'm at. Let's see if I can, I probably have to open it from command line real quick. Let's see. Let's see, and then what we'll do is Python snake game.py. Python was not found. Oh, Python capitalized. Python not found. That's interesting. Is it just Py? Nope. When I make it not global, I cannot access local variable X. Yeah, so I do understand making it global so that window can access it. Or what you could do too is pass X and Y. That is bright. Sorry. I don't have Notepad++ yet. I need to go. Do I? No, I need to go install Notepad++. What you might do here is like you could pass X and Y into window like this, right? And you could have X and Y be inputs into here. That would solve the problem because you set X and Y down here and then they get reset here. So that could help. I do see like 500 minus width minus velocity here actually is gonna, because width is a constant, that's just gonna be negative velocity every time. So I think what you want is this. Again, I don't think I fully 100% understand your code, but I don't think you want that yet. Okay, I can't import Pygame here. So I probably need to install Pygame before I can run it. But we can do that. Maybe I'll do that sometime soon. How big is Pygame? Can I just install it real quick? That one doesn't work. Let's see. Getting started. Let's install Pygame. We're gonna figure this out. Yeah, a couple of just like things that'll help, I think, with debugging is I would use different variable names. So I'd call this like I and this J. I don't think it's your problem, but it could be, right? And then you have global XY, because what could be happening, because X and Y are global, the first time you draw your grid, it uses X and Y and it gets reset to 0 and goes on, right? It goes through here, comes back through, resets your X and your Y here, and then does window. If you ever go through and you don't set your X and Y, your X and Y is going to be these values. Yeah, I'm typing that now. Python 3 -m pip install -u pygame. Python not found. Do I have Python? Do I have Python 3? Oh, I need Py. I can never remember what the command. Okay, it's installing. Installing collected packages. Success. All right. Oh, it wants me to update. That's okay. I'm not going to update. We're not doing that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is come here. And let's see. Snake game. All right, what we got? W. Okay, so you can't. Let's see. All right. This is good. Okay, so yeah, that way doesn't work, but I think it's because we're blocked. So let's go. Let's save this. Let's rerun this. Okay, I lost the grid, but it works. So now we can move around. So the things I changed, let's see, and that goes all the way to the edge there. Almost to the edge there. So that's that 10 pixels you're talking about, is that right? All right, hey. We got in here though. I did lose the grid, so let me think about why I lost the grid. I guess it's because I changed I and J here and I didn't change them here. That's pretty simple. Let's try this again. All right, now I have the grid. Don't understand the almost to the edge part. Yeah, let's think about that real quick. Okay, so that goes all to the edge. It's just on the top and the bottom. And it's if it's, let's see. Right here is supposed to block it. So if it's going to be the less here, so 500, I would probably do height. That way, if you ever want to change your height, right, you can do so without having to redo it. And this I would probably do width. Not saying that's the exact thing. And then honestly, so I'm trying to think of the greater than velocity thing. I think you would just do as less than height and X is less than width. And would these be 0? I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just trying to think through what each of these terms are doing. So if I do, that's what I would try first, and then okay, but that's gonna hit the wall there, but I can keep going down. So I do hit the wall now. This is gonna let me keep going, I'm guessing. Yeah. Okay, oh, because I'm of size 10, and that's where the minus velocity is coming from. because I'm size 10 here. And that is going to be this. Instead of this, I could do is greater than velocity. Save that. Then what we got? So I keep trying to pick up my controller. Okay, but that is blocking, so it'd actually be here because my cube is a size 20 block, which is interesting. But this is the value that edits it. So these absolutely need to be 0. That absolutely needs to be 0. This absolutely needs to be 0. Because what I'm saying is, hey, as long as x is greater than 0 here, this one I need to do to my block size, actually, I think. So I could do like block width, and I would do block width here too, or block width and block height, and then I can define those up here, and I could say block width, comma, block height equals 20, 20. Okay. Yeah, I'll post it back into the Discord when we're done here. Okay, so let's see here. So that's good. That's almost good. My grid just might be a little low here. And then when I go to the top here, again, almost good. I'm clipping a little bit here. I wonder why I'm clipping. And then that's good. So left and right's really good. Up and down is not quite as good. I wonder why. Because it should, well, yeah, I guess the velocity too is, it lets me go all the way over. Let me think about that for a second. I guess it's just because I'm clipping through. One thing I could probably do is say like else. You could probably have an elif here. I'm probably going way too much into this, right? But if I would say, could say like else if, basically if x is greater than width, you can make x equals width. I guess x equals width, and same thing with y. If y is greater than height, y equals height, and what that's going to do is give me a max, and then you can do the same thing with zeros. If x is less than 0, x equals 0, and then if y is less than 0, y equals 0. I don't know if this will compile because I did it pretty quickly, but let's find out. Okay, so now, yeah, it still clips. But anyway, I think we got there. Was that what you were trying to solve? I'm not sure why. I would also could maybe print like you can maybe print x and y, which is really helpful. Print honestly is super helpful for debugging because you can try to figure out this kind of stuff. So you could do like print x comma y. I think that's all I have to do. Nope, that is not printing x comma y. So let me see. Print, we'll say hello world. Oh, not that, not there. Print hello world. And then I think I can use commas. Yeah, honestly, it should be able to print x and y. I'm very surprised it didn't. So I can just print x and print y. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you couldn't see it. Oops. Here, let me share. My bad. I didn't realize. Here. There, is that what you were? Does that resolve it? My bad. I thought you were watching me the whole time. I didn't realize I wasn't sharing my screen. I was just sharing application. Oh, you can't even see my coding. Yeah, that was probably awful. Let's see. Cool. I'll share this in Discord though still. But yeah. This is what I was looking at here. Yeah. So I think that's it. The one thing I was trying to resolve, right, is... sorry, that was probably awful. Not seeing that or my command prompt or anything. Oops. Yeah, the one thing is the top and bottom seem to go below. And that's what I was trying to resolve with this. I think what it is where you start. Like if I run this again, oops. If I run this again, let me save. Actually, let me save here and let me try this again. That's why I was typing this. I was going to go ahead and print X and Y so I could see what those values were. So we could see like why it was going under. Inconsistent use of tabs and spaces. That's what I figured was going to happen. Okay, we can fix that. I started using tabs because it was faster. That's annoying. Python. I really wish these are all fit. Yeah, really wish I could just use this. This is where Notepad++ really comes in handy here. Okay, let's see if that gets me there. I don't know if it does. So if X is greater than width, where's that? Okay. Let's try again. X equals width, okay. Notepad++ will tell you when you have this sort of situation. I really need Notepad++ if I'm gonna do stuff in Notepad. Let's try this again. X equals 0, okay. We're almost there. And Y equals 0. All right, let's give this a shot. If Y is less than 0, okay. Now let's give it a shot. All right, cool. So now you can see the values, right? Over there. And so you can see here. Yeah, Visual Studio works too. Let me share command prompt here. Okay. So you see that? So now you can see the values. So whenever you kind of, so my Y right now is going down, right? So there's 0. So it actually fixed. So all it was essentially you were starting on a 5. And if you use this code where it essentially, it's keeping you from going down any further right here, right? And the cool thing about coding like this, the other thing I changed is, let's see. So it was like 99% right. Only things I changed, I added this to essentially lock you in, where after you get like to the edge, you'll stop at the edge and not go any further. And then after you get to 0, you'll stop at the edge and not go any further. And then I'm printing, which, you know, up to you whether you want to do that or not. I changed this to height minus block height and defined a new variable called block height. That way, if you decide you want a larger block, you can do so, right? Pretty easily. Like if I change these to 40/40. Probably not that important, I guess, but now I have a bigger block, right? Actually, no, I have a virtually bigger block, but this is hard coded. So I would, oh, I just closed command prompt, that's okay. I would do like block, you know, width and block height, like that. Let me real quick pull up command prompt again. All right, can I make game.py? Okay, so now you got a bigger block, right? But it still works, except that, which is okay, I guess. And then we can go back to a 20 size because it works for that. We'll just ignore that part doesn't work. And then you can also, you know, modify this This is where I think it's important while you're coding to try to think modularly, because everywhere that you want to possibly have things change, you want to be able to do so pretty quickly, right? And so now you can just change the height and the width and it stops. Can't find anything else on it. Yeah, I don't I don't know what it is either. Interesting interesting file type. But yeah, so BWAG, I'll send this to I'll send that in the Discord real quick right now. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Hopefully that kind of gets you where you needed to be. Go ahead and close these out. Let me go ahead and while we're here, I'm going to dump this in the Discord. There you go. But yeah, if you have any other things come up, you know, feel free to ask away. I enjoyed that though. That was a fun little segment. And that was probably a good way to to end the stream. So yeah, I think a lot of that just takes like time and experience. You did a really good job doing it blindly. So if you didn't follow any sort of tutorials and you just kind of like gave it a shot, you had like the 95% solution. I think the rest of that just comes with like thinking through like what are the possible if statements, right? And working your way through that. So yeah, fantastic job. If you have anything else comes up and you need help, let me know. And Kodo, sorry about your your file type. Best of luck to you. I'm not sure what you're trying to do, but I wish you all the luck in doing it. Okay, with that, I think I'm gonna call it a night. So I'm gonna try to find someone to raid here. It is getting kind of late. And yeah, find data to change stats for this game you got. I gotcha, that makes sense. Yeah, that's challenging. I think any kind of like ROM hacking, which is basically what you're doing, you really got to find a specialized tool for it. So if it, you could try, maybe it is a BlackBerry, like I know it's on non-BlackBerry hardware, but it's very possible that like whoever coded it just knew how to make mobile applications for BlackBerry. So you might find a BlackBerry emulator, try it on it and see if it works. And then if that works, you could maybe find like a BlackBerry ROM hack thing. Otherwise, I think you have to change binary data, which could be hard. You could just go in there and mess with the binary data in Notepad++. That wouldn't be bad either, but it'd probably be challenging. Okay, I'm gonna find someone to raid real quick. If anything else pops up though, BWAG, feel free to ping me there. I'm happy to help out whenever I can. I'm definitely not an expert in Python. Not an expert in Pygame for sure, because I haven't ever looked at it, but oops. Let's see. I don't know how to mute that. Anyway, I guess we can do that. But yeah, let me just find someone to raid here. Saw Notepad++ is a lot of gibberish. That's what I expected. It's binary data, so it's gonna be a lot of gibberish. You can try changing values and see what you get. Yeah, have a good night. Best of luck there. And let's see, we will raid someone that looks like they're doing something at least a little bit interesting here. How about Shimon Holmgren? We'll see how that goes. Best of luck. I do not know this person, but give him a hey guys, and we'll talk soon. Thanks everybody. Have a good night.